Hunterz, welcome to the show. It's fantastic to have you on. Honestly, it's been a while. I think I messaged you quite a while back to say, look, do you want to come on? You said to, I remember your words actually. You didn't say no. You said, I love to, brother, but can we hold on? Because then I'll have something really exciting to share with you. And that was via, I think, Twitter or something, or Instagram, one of the two, right? And I thought, okay, that's cool. You know, it's not a no. I'm always optimistic, you know. So here we are. So thanks for coming. Sorry, it's quite early. I'm an early.
No. Yeah. I get up early anyway.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I know. And so good to have you on. How have you been?
I've been really good. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I do remember the message. It was actually on Twitter, and I wanted to come on and talk to you. I like your podcast first and foremost. Brilliant podcast, and I wanted to have something to talk about, because I knew behind the scenes what we were about to do. So it's much better now. Timing is perfect.
So timing is perfect, and sometimes things are meant to be at a certain time. And I think we should kick right into what you're doing now, because London Inc., for a start, that's a fantastic name for branding purposes. London Inc. You could go anywhere around the world, and London Inc. record company or studio, it just works, doesn't it? Everyone knows London, right? And
all credit goes to the new team. So I'm working with a really exciting team. I'm talking anybody who buys a building next to Westminster Abbey, puts your offices there and builds a studio there, is a very serious setup.
Yeah.
And that's just music is just one part of what they do. All will be revealed in the next coming weeks, and it's going to be a beautiful surprise for everybody as to who is behind what we're doing. But they are specialists in marketing and all this amazing stuff. So they ones that come up with London Inc. And you're right, it's an amazing name.
It really is. And I saw some of the visuals for the video and like the promo, and I thought, wow, this is like quality stuff. This is you could just tell, you know, when you see a video, you know, a lot of time and effort and expertise and skills gone into this. So it must be super exciting for you, because you know, you've been around a long time, and and you're still here. You're still trying to push the envelope and do new things. And I see you jamming in your music room online. And I love the fact when you do your little videos of you jamming, you're so into it. You're so into the music. It's not really about showing, you know, to do a social media post. You're just really into the vibe of the music. And I thought, yeah, he's just vibing on the morning. He's recorded it. He shared it. And the love for music, it's obviously still there.
We come from a musical family, Sat. So I've had a family member, you might not know, but in almost every Bhangra band. So my chacha is a founding member of Hira. So I come from the Diamonds from Hira days. You remember when that album dropped? What happened after that?
Yeah.
So you remember when I was a young kid. And then my Dayaji's been with Alap for 35 years. Sunil's dad.
Wow. So,
yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No.
Okay. Well, in every other family, my cousin Prem has played bass with the Chanak for how long? My other cousin, rest in peace, used to play bass with DCS, Big Raju, who passed away.
Yep.
That should give you a little flavor as into who our family are. And then obviously I'm a relative of Hunterz Hans. And then the rest is just, it just goes on. We have a very big musical family. Me and my family in particular, we took it to a very next level. In everything that you've seen me do behind the scenes, I've been training in all different genres. I'm a multi-genre artist, and only now are people going to see what I've been doing. I've just spent 10 years with UB40, and which has been amazing. And people are going to see the reggae side with their blessing. I'm working with artists from Jamaica, thanks to London Inc. So London Inc. basically picked me up at the whole Asian scene. And I've got to tell you, they can get anybody they want. Their infrastructure is, they have links in America with all the top artists. Like next week, they have a Zoom call with Rock Nation, Jay-Z's label, just like it's nothing. And that's their connections. And they picked me up and they said, this is the guy we want to pick up. He is a multi-genre artist. He's not just in your one style. And where people might have thought, you know, Hunterz is just, you should maybe stick in one style. And I was different from that. So I said, no, 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 no. Let me carry on doing what I do. You guys carry on doing what you do and whatever. And I wish you all the best. Something inside me was like, that's not what I do. You have to be true to yourself. Now is my time.
Yeah, no, and that's amazing. I mean, wow. So many questions come to my mind.
Yeah.
This could be a series of podcasts.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, I told Raj, a big shout to Raj guy. I told Raj, I said, with Sat, we'll do this one, but I can definitely see me, if it's cool with you, coming back on at another time and doing an extended one. Because with me, one podcast is not enough.
It's not. No. Because if we just concentrate, say, on your family, that would be one in itself. Then,
well, my brother, he just surpassed 4 billion YouTube views with Guru Randawa. I don't know if you know that. My younger brother produces Guru Randawa, which is amazing achievement for us.
That's amazing. I tell you,
four brothers. You know, 4 brothers. 2 grew up in UK, 2 grew up in Punjab, India.
Yeah, I know. I tell you where I first ever saw you, Hunterz, was in the Eastern Eye paper, right? Yeah. And this is many years ago. It was you, your brothers, and you're super young. And it mentioned that, you know, one of your brothers was training in India, vocals, and you just come on the scene. I'm talking, it's got to be way over 20 years ago. This is right. And so the legacy of your music, it's so deep and long. And like you said, you're fully trained, and you was never a pure like Punjabi artist, because you sing in Hindi and you do reggae. You're just a musical artist.
Yeah, with me, I've so from young I started playing tabla. So people don't know, my main instrument to this day is tabla. And my tabla teacher is one of the top 10 in the world, Ustad Sukhvinder Singh Pinkiji. That's I was the first British-born student, and thanks for saying I'm trained. I'm being trained. So I've got a long, long way to go. I'm just surrounded by amazing musicians. From day one, I remember my dad saying to me, look, you play bass, you play tabla, you play lead guitar, you play multi different instruments. It's going to consume a lot of your time. Is that what you want to do? If you want to do it, close the doors, lock the door, and practice if that's what you're going to do. And to this day, that's what I do in my instrument. So I practice. That's why I get up every morning. And I know we both are iron brothers, so I like to train in the morning, get up in the morning and do some fasted cardio and stuff. And also, like before I spoke to you, I've just done I did tell Raj I'm not going to be able to sing a little bit, but this morning I was doing my so I was already doing my vocal stuff in the morning. Yeah. When the vocals a bit hoarse like this, we tend to practice lower notes.
That's fantastic, and that is amazing. I mean, I love your sort of structure of your day. You know, you get up, and obviously you're training, and we are Iron Brothers, and
yes,
and so you're training physically. You're then doing riyaz as well, vocally. So is that kind of your structure daily? Is that what you would do every day?
Every single day. I have this thing where I'm like belong to, I don't want to use the word fraternity or whatever you want to call it. So if we belong to the Iron Brothers, we be disciplined with that. If we belong to music, we're disciplined by that. I've given every single thing to music, and I believe I'm only about to get out of it now. Not that I want for myself, it's just for the family. But me and my brothers went the long, long, long way around. Knowledge is 100% power. And I can fit into any genre now. It's easy for me. I'm working with so many artists. It's really, really easy for me to fit in with whatever's happening. Yeah, I know a lot of people in our industry are maybe not finding it as easy because they might not have trained in different styles of music. And to survive nowadays, you've got to be a multi-genre artist, I believe.
No, I think so. As much as I know about music, I would say it's not a UK Asian scene anymore. It's a world scene. It's a global scene, right? That UK, you know, the 90s, 80s, that's kind of gone now. Where the world would look at the UK and think, wow, their music's amazing, right? And it was, and it still is, you know. But I think now it's global sounds. You know, you look at India as well, Canada, their music's, you couldn't really pinpoint it to an area. It's just the world sound. And I think for an artist like you, who works in multi genres, it will be slightly easier. I mean, it's not easy. Obviously, you trained your ass off, right, to do this, right? So, but it's easier for you to fit into these areas rather than someone who's been in, say, the Bangla market all their life. It's difficult, right?
I agree. I actually, my friends call it or I call it the gift and the curse. They were like, how do you know these things? I saw the change happening years ago. I said, look, India, an infrastructure like that cannot just be looking at our island for forever, can it really? I saw that the YouTube generation, when YouTube landed in India and stuff, it's going to be a game changer. And I said that generation, when it grows up in 10 years, first of all, do not rely on Bollywood anymore. Bollywood, as you know, had the lion's share, kind of moved independent music out of the way. It's 100% not that. The youth in India really, I don't believe they live all just for YouTube anymore. Now that generation has grown up and they've made their own. If we just talk about Punjabi, because when some of our industry talk about the Asian industry, they're mainly from the Bangla side. It's not just that. The Bangla side is one really small part of it. We're proud of it. It's one really small part of it. But the Bangla side, let's just say, them artists grew up and they started looking to America. They're watching videos in the big US videos and however it is. And they've changed. And then you've got your Diljit Dosanjh. Recently, you've got your upcoming AP Dylan, your Sidhu, slightly different. They're taking the rap mentality and dropping their vibe. But the industry has changed. I found in UK, a lot of the Bangla artists who are just as talented, if not more talented, what they lost was this songwriting. The style of songwriting has changed. Music can be the same. Anybody can recreate the beats. That's easy. The style of songs. I'm looking at our industry and saying, why not any of you lot drop a Hostel, then a Beg or something? Where is that? Because where I come from, how we drop it, if I have to drop a song for Jamaica, I'm going to fit in with whatever's out there and put my touch. That's what we're doing. And that's why London Inc. came and picked me up out of everybody. They said he's got a current sound. For context, right now, my lawyer is the same lawyer as Adele, only because they gave me all of this stuff. So every step of the way, it's really big. I'm going to New York to meet Nas and Busta Rhymes in July, COVID permitting. We've just done a deal with them. I couldn't have dreamed of this stuff before. These guys came and picked me up only because I was forward thinking and we can fit in. So our industry in UK, I want it to come forward. I'm UK all the way, but I want these guys, at the end of the day, you have to compete. The industry's changed. Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, rest in peace, one of my heroes, one of my three pillars in music. Michael Jackson, Prince, and Nusrat Saab, Bob Marley, four of them. That's my kind of basis, and there's others scattered around. Nusrat Saab said an artist has to fit in with what's happening around him, because when he started doing sargams in Qawwali, the purists didn't like it. But at the end of the day, he was right, because he took it to the masses. If he never took that art form to the masses, we would still have Qawwalis that 1.5 hour long. None of the kids are going to listen to that.
Yeah,
he was a visionary. So in UK, you got to don't complain. Look at what's going on and fit in, and that's what you have to do. That's the rule in music. You can't break that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I actually remember that time when Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan started doing songs in Bollywood, and people were really pissed off. You know, purists. And I remember, but actually, and even for Bally Sagoo, remember when he recorded songs like that, people were really annoyed. But actually, it just widened the appreciation for one of the greatest artists ever that's ever lived, right? And it got me into it. I probably would never have listened to Qawwali music before, right? And I started listening to his older Qawwalis, you know, and I got really into it. And so you're right. And I think maybe for some of the UK artists, Bangla artists, producers, it's a comfort blanket. They've had some success previously doing it, and they kind of want to carry on, which is understandable, right? But the flexibility, I think, is key. you've got to, trends are so quick, they come and go, right? You know, that Gangnam Style was big for a while, it's gone. And that was like 1 billion views, it's gone, right? And no one, the days of listening to an album for about 6 months, I think, are kind of gone, right? It's all swipe, next.
That's right.
Yeah. So you've got to be, you've got to be like you.
What you have to do is you have to build a brand. So I work with guys who are specialists at that. Our marketing team work with Boohoo Band, Pretty Little Thing, the football clubs, and they're amazing. So the people and the marketing team are Red Cow Media. They brought in Untitled Productions, who made my video, who have the largest filming space outside of London in the UK, which is based in Manchester. We've done a long-term deal with them. So basically, the video that we just released is an advert. So imagine infrastructure behind me, that's an advert. People in our industry, that would be like a career-defining video. For these guys, it's like, no, that's just an advert to show this is what he's doing. My next video could be in Egypt by the pyramids, by the Giza, by the Sphinx, which was told to me just at the end of the shoot. They were like, okay, we've got a surprise for you, brother. This is where you're going to go for one of your videos, and the permission is all sorted. And then after that, we're going to go, exciting for me is we're going to go to Kenya to go and record with the Masai Mara, with the Masai tribe in the Masai Mara. And I'm looking at this stuff. I'm honored, and they believe I'm worthy for that, which is why they picked me up, because I have struggled. I struggled as in I stayed away from, there was a period where a lot of artists were making a lot of money, and I would have had to become a Bhangra artist, which I'm clearly not. I don't have the voice for that. And I said, no, that's not me. Let me stick to what I do. My time will come. Nobody can touch great legends like Shin or anybody. No one can touch V. V is a different level. He had to find his way in the business as a music producer. Now imagine if he wasn't a music producer. Now he can sing and do whatever he wants to do. He has the platform. He has relationships with the largest labels in the world. But because he had the added skill of being a music producer, he watched me as a kid and then done his own research. He found his way in the industry on a big level where he's just like brought a couple of houses. He brought, property from the music business, which is very difficult to do now. And he done that. And he had to move to India, work with Guru Randhawa, shout out to Guru, and done what they've done. Guru also was riding high on a big single when he worked with V, and V was unknown. So I must give him credit. It's about making smart moves. So I'm seeing our industry now not making smart moves. Before we would just like have that mentality, just release records, and we didn't even think about how strong our industry was. We were just going with it. Now, what happens when that stops? Have you prepared? What I done is I prepared. But something inside me was saying, just make sure you're always ready so you don't have to get ready. So when the switch happened, which was the urban culture, and dance not going away anywhere, a lot of artists don't know how to fit into that. Come to me, I'll help you.
Yeah. I'm coming. And but that's a great point, because I think you're right. I think the 80s, 90s, the live scene was fantastic. That, and it was brilliant. But they didn't seem to a long-term plan after that, because when DJs like RDB come along and the DJ scenes, B21, that sort of PA, the bands kind of didn't know what to do. And they resisted, didn't they? There was even us. I was in the band PDM, better than Monday, right? From Grazer. We didn't really know what to do. We were live. We're a band. We didn't. PAs weren't really our thing, and there weren't that long-term plan to think what can we do. And you're right, because even for you at the time, when the live scene was going on, you're thinking, I'm not really a Bhangra singer, right? And I should be, riding this wave here, but I can do all this, but I'm not really, I don't fit in this mold. So that takes a lot of discipline, I think, mentally, to think, my time will come.
And then you got all the artists who are friends of mine who are saying, mate, your talent, you're probably way more talented than a lot of the artists. It takes a lot more than just talent. It's about timing. It's about knowing what to release at what time. But those were my learning, my studying period. I kind of locked myself away, and we belong to a classical family, which is one of the most prestigious classical families as students. So my family got accepted into a very, very big classical family whose roots are obviously in India, but they're now based in Pakistan. But their roots and their ancestors their ancestors were court musicians for Emperor Akbar, 16th
Wow.
century. And every single singer in their family, everybody in their bloodline, and trust me, everyone, 15, 16-year-olds, 13-year-olds are doing stuff that it's just amazing. And I'm a student of this, but they don't see me as a student. They see me as, because I bring this whole versatile side, they love that. So I'm actually working with them. So anyway, it's like I said, one podcast is not enough. I trained, so I studied with funk, people who play funk. I studied with, if you're going to do reggae, I went and lived with UB40 and I studied with them. My classical stuff is really deep rooted. I'd speak to them every day. I'm always training. How do you do this? How do we do this? I've just recently started studying jazz, which is very difficult. And I'm just getting my head around the jazz stuff. I think you have to constantly be learning, constantly. YouTube was not good for us at the start. It took, as you know, because it effectively the record companies can compete and our music was being downloaded for free. Years later, YouTube is like my third or fourth star. I call it Ustad YouTube. It's the most amazing research engine. You know, I'm learning so much. If you know what to look for, I'm sure you watch training videos just to watch. It's great. It's brilliant. And then you know, get rid of the bullshit and just take what you need. It's amazing. So I'm looking around me. I'm like, did anybody else study or was it just me? But they're all talented, super talented, great artists, amazing, love music. And I feel for it. I want to see that UK vibe again. I want to see that. But where is it now? So what I see is going to happen is this, and what we've been told with record companies who we talk to, proper mainstream labels, is the Asian wave is coming from the UK, but it's going to happen with collaborations with mainstream artists, Steel Bangles, other artists that are coming up. That's one of the things that's going to come and happen, which is amazing, you know.
Yes, I mean some of the American artists you mentioned, you know, and you said some prominent, massive artists, you know. Do you think that's where the UK Asian scene kind of lost its way? You know, we had like Jay Sean and Rishi. I know you worked with Rishi. He's fantastic, super producer, right? And he's in India now. We never then took the next step, did we? They kind of did it, and then there was no one behind them to sort of climb on board as well, you know. There seemed to be a gap. They couldn't do it all themselves, obviously, you know.
Well, they done what they done, which is amazing. We have to think, where is the next? Okay, let's talk about bands. Where's the next DCS? Where's the next Bendy the Monday? Where's the next Alaps or anybody? I'm not saying it has to be that, but in this era now, where are they? Okay, but individually, there's lots of talented artists, but I don't know where they are. I'm also looking around and saying, who's doing what? One thing I would say is people need to be a bit more brave. Like, you don't need to do what everybody else is doing. Sometimes you can do an acoustic song and go with that. We've just released a song which is over a drill beat with a Bollywood type of vocal, with an Arabic vocal, English vocal. So the global fusion sound, which I was doing a long time ago, we're just doing it at a more polished level, with thanks to London Inc., because they picked that out. They said, right, let's go and work with Hunterz because he has all this stuff. And then I'm bringing in artists as well. We're bringing in very, very, very talented artists. London Inc. is not just about me. I'm opening doors for people, but they have to be skilled and they have to understand what's going on. It's not like, everybody, sorry, it's not that.
There's got to be there's got to be some quality control, without doubt. And sometimes I think maybe that was lacking in the UK, the Asian scene, you know, quality, you know. I mean, even I released a song, you know, come on. So, there was no quality control, right? So, but I just love music like you. I'm not, obviously, I've never trained. I didn't have that discipline within music to learn, and which I obviously, looking back as I'm an older guy, I could tell my kids, you know, if you want to be a singer, go to Hunterz route, you've got to train, right? Close the door. You're not leaving the house.
Well, you're going to have the balance in, let them enjoy themselves and just do it really nice. Like, so this morning I was practicing and my 3-year-old son was sitting next to me and I'm looking at him and he's on this tablet and the tablet keeps going off as I'm practicing. So God knows what he's watching. He's watching dinosaurs and stuff, which is cool. So, which he follows me, and but then in the middle of it, he's doing that. Then he'll just stop and look at me and go, "Sa," and then and I'm looking at it and thinking, all right, cool. It's slowly getting in. Our training and their era is a little bit different. Our training was a bit more strict. It was we come from that strict background, and I wouldn't change it. Strict, but with love. But at the end of the day, you've got to train, you've got to practice, you've got to, repetition is key. We know, we train. You ain't gonna, your biceps ain't gonna get built with just lifting it twice, is it? It's the same with vocals, it's the same with music. The more you put in, the more you get out, but you must have the right training also. That's another thing. I've seen people teach in UK, and some teach just for the money, just pay me for my my hour. I believe if you teach someone, you've got to stand back and they've got to be doing it. They've got to show you, okay, show me that. They should be able to go somewhere and say, look, I learned this. Some people come to me, a lot of people want you to learn from me, which first thing I say to them is, listen, I'm the biggest student in the world. You want to learn from me? Okay, then you need to think like I think. Otherwise, I really don't have the time. The hour that I'm going to spend teaching you, you may not even practice. When I used to have a lesson, I might not see my teacher for 6 months after that, but I will rigorously practice and make sure out of that one lesson, I will turn that into 25 different variations.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way,
So,
the people I look up to, I'll never reach their level. So I like to have that bar there.
yeah, I mean, with singing and any kind of artistry, you never stop learning, right? You can never stop.
Yeah, I'm naturally a music producer, so singing is like, I have to work really hard. I'm still working really hard. I'm a music producer at heart. That's my main thing. I'm a music producer, but I was lucky in that I came out with songs that were very different, like Really, on the beach with about 16 girls in bikini, hard day's work.
I've seen it.
Have you seen that one? Yeah. And when the kids watch it, it's quite funny that one of us kids goes, I want to make a video with girls. My wife looked at me like this. I went, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I do as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, training is the key. I wish I could speak to a lot of artists now. I try my best. I actually give a lot of artists call me. I don't think it's good to name them. A lot of prominent artists will call me and just to say, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And we get advice from each other. I'm still learning. They might know something I don't know. The main thing is they're trying to fit in, and that's where we step in now. It doesn't matter who you are, I will help you. I'm working with the legend Apache Indian again. We've got so much amazing music coming out, and that's really, really exciting. He's still fresh and still strong and still like wants to do it, even though he doesn't need to do it, but he wants to do it. Yeah. So I like that hunger. It really has come down to how much passion, how much drive you've got, and what are you willing to do. And then once you've reached that goal, what are you willing to do after that? We've really got into that. Like you said, it's a swipe wheel. Okay, next. Okay, next. So you must become a brand. You, my brother, are a brand. Your podcast is now a brand. You've done it. You're grinding it out. You're getting the podcast out. If people don't see you, they ain't gonna know. They're not going to know. I do videos, and like you said, sometimes I don't even. I'm just jamming. I'm in my own zone, and then I share it with friends. Because I actually have a lot of friends who message me and say, post that reggae one, post this one, please post this one, just so we can hear it, because you're not going to give us the song. I'm not going to give you the song until it's out. But I'll give you a little teaser. So you have to be visual. And even me, there's a lot of content that's about to come out that you'll see. You're going to see a lot of gym videos of me in the gym, learning with some real cool. Me and you might be together, just different people. So try and encourage the next generation. That's one thing the guys at London Inc. are really, really, really serious about, is sending a positive vibe out there, because there's a lot of disinformation. The next generation coming up quite angry. I don't think we were like that. We was all right. We were okay. We were cool, and I'm looking at everybody around. I'm saying, it's quite angry, this generation, man. Yeah. We need to pick a few of them out and help them a little bit. There's a few people I've helped. They're in Birmingham. They were in gangs, and I'm trying my best to help them. A couple of them I couldn't. They've gone straight back in, and a couple of them I've managed to help, kind of like mentoring them. I fell into that accidentally, and I'm glad I did. One of them is, he's at university now, come out of the gang culture. He's like the most in-demand videographer in the West Midlands. Imagine that, from where he come from.
Yeah.
And shooting videos for everybody. He's also an artist that we're working with. And I just became like a mentor to him. And to this day, he's just like a little brother to me. Yeah. He's not even Asian. It's not even about the color. I really don't care.
No.
So we'll try and help where we can.
Yeah, but that's amazing. I think people with difficult backgrounds and who kind of then channel that into positivity and use it within their art. I think it's always amazing when you see someone, from that background, and not maybe I'm going to generalize, like a middle class white guy who's had life quite easy and he's producing some art and you think that's great, looks good. But someone who's had it hard and from the streets and turn their life around, that's really inspiring, I think, for a lot of people. And London Inc. are right. Positivity always wins, right? There's a lot of negativity online, but positivity, love, genuinely wins out in the end.
Yeah, we have another side with us, which is very heavily involved in the mental health side. So we have Think About Mental Health, which one of our brothers, Khalid, set up. He's the governor for mental health, one of the longest serving Asians in the mental health sector in Great Britain. And I had to learn from them. I'm watching these guys say, I'm like, wow, these guys really care, genuinely really care. And also, mental health wasn't, nobody knew about it. Like we were never, we didn't really know much about it, but everything is a mindset. I believe everything that I've done, when I sit with some of my friends now, they say, what kind of a mindset did you have when all the industry was going way, way ahead? And you were like, it's okay, no problem. I'll be patient and I'll study. And then I saw ahead and I was just like, it's okay. Let me be learning. Let me have, get the knowledge. Let me get the skills, because skills pay the bills. And that's what I done. But the mental health side, I didn't even know. I went through real dark days as well, bro. It was real difficult. It was very, very difficult.
I definitely resonate with that. I went through a lot of dark days, and the only thing that really, a lot of drinking was involved, and the only thing that kind of pulled me out of that was fitness for me, because it gave me structure. It gave me. I was always into short-term pleasure. Have a drink, get high, brilliant. But with working out and training, you don't get that, right? You might have a little buzz after a training session, but it's a long-term plan, right? You have to keep going. You might not be very good at bench press, so you keep going. You keep adding a little bit of a weight to it. You had a bit more the following week, and you carry on, and it never ends. You just carry on. And that really worked for me as the kind of person I am. I thought I need to sort of try and work to long-term goals rather than, because like drinking and drugs are easy, right? In a sense, you go to the shop, you buy a drink, you drink it, and it works. The effect works. But for me, training really works for my mental health, and it just sets me up for the day. And I'm sure you're the same as well. When it just sets you up.
Yeah, I started training late. So like I was always football, basically. So I come from Bedford and I moved to Birmingham years ago. So in Bedford, I was nice and lean. In Birmingham, I came and got fat.
Yeah. So Birmingham does. Yeah.
My cousins here were more interested in the ones who were in the bands. They were big drinkers. So I, to this day, have never touched alcohol. I come from a massive drinking. Yeah, but my family, they enjoy a drink. I grew up, I was the kid who they used to drag into the method and say, double over. So I grew up around it, where my other cousins who wanted to come into the room might not have been allowed into the room. But we come from a family that would, sing every weekend, and they'd have a drink every single weekend. So I grew up playing tabla like that. So the drink was right in front of me, and I never done it. I really can't tell you. Probably my grandma. I was raised by my grandmother. She made me promise her when I was real young, and it stuck into my head. Now, I've been all over the world. I've been offered every drug you can think of, all the drinks, everything. I have no problem with anybody drinking. Do whatever you want to do, but you must control yourself. You have to control yourself. I've seen artists self-destruct that too. I'm sure you might have back in those days as well.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of artists lose themselves to it, which is unfortunate. So it's not a joke. And training was the best thing that ever happened. I started training a few years ago, and then I went in kind of like deep end. Like the guy I trained with at the start is from a martial arts background, but he knew his bodybuilding. The second one was an understudy to Dorian Yates.
Well, yeah.
Right at the head, I went in on that kind of a thing level but they were brilliant, man. Nobody ever said you have to lift like this, you have to lift this heavy. They also knew that one thing about me is I'll come in, I'll get the knowledge that I need, take what I need, and just apply that. That's what I would do. That comes from our music training, because our teachers would tell us that we don't need all of this, we don't need this, and we don't need this. So it's like when I teach somebody, what kind of voice do they have? Do they have a Desi voice? Or do they have an R&B kind of voice? What kind of lessons can I give them to complement that? The people who I trained with were like that, because they could have been proper like steadheads or stupid or anything, but they weren't. They were professional. And they told me from day one, they was like, you don't need to do it. You don't need to lift like this guy or that guy. Look at that guy, he's nearly broke his back. So we can, push to try and get your lifts a little bit heavy. But what do you want to do? Do you want to be a weightlifter, or do you want to be a bodybuilder, have an aesthetic physique? And I'm glad I learned that from them very, very quickly. So
yeah, what's quite interesting, Hunterz, with what you've told me, and kind of what I'm thinking now, is you kind of absorb a lot from people. You kind of pick out people in certain areas, like could be fitness, music, even record. You try and take the most out of these people, their best parts, their skills. You're absorbing their sort of experience, and you're not copying them, you're then changing it and molding it to how it could be useful for you. I think that's very interesting. I've not heard anyone say that to me before on these shows. That's a great way of looking at it. So you're looking for mentors all the time, right? If you find
I'm actually learning talking to you, and I'd like to say that we at London Inc. at some point are going to have our own podcast, and I'd like to invite you on there as well, on our show, and also speak to Rudy about maybe coming on and having a slot on ours, because I think you're brilliant at it. And it's about connecting people. That's what London Inc. is about. London Inc. is a record label. It's we want to do short films. We're a publishing company. It's not just music. It's loads of things around it. You'll see very, very soon. So we have people, the same set of the same people who picked us up also are helping football agents, upcoming football agents. One of them looks after Jadon Sancho. And in I can only say so much, but you will see it all over the news over the next few weeks as into who has come in and helped us. And believe me, it's a beautiful surprise, amazing surprise. And I'm overwhelmed. What they've done is identified a few people in different areas and thought, this person has this skill, and we can help this person go to there. We can help this person go to there. Without these guys, it was very difficult for me, I'll be honest with you, because I'm multi-genre, and I'm like, but you need infrastructure with you, and they come in and help me do that.
Yeah, they seem to have from what you're telling me, a super long-term plan. It's not like they don't just want to release a album or a song and make a hit on YouTube and great,
No.
let's watch the views come in. It's not about that. I think it's about building something long term, right? Some foundations, and they're putting the right people in right places, and it's fantastic for you. You deserve this. For all your hard work, all them years. And that I still think that skill of being patient. While it's very difficult when you're watching other people have success, and you can do it yourself, and just not to sit back, but to actually think, what, I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to train and practice. Now's not my time. but there will be a time when my time, you know, when it
It's
happens.
very difficult. That
Yeah.
was very difficult. But like you said, things like fitness and training, there's nothing better. There is absolutely, me and you, we probably agree that I don't think there's anything better. So aside from music, my life is real simple. If it's music, we're very, very disciplined. If it's training, we're disciplined. And then to chill out, I just like watching films. As people say, what do you do? Because somebody once said to me, a big musician from India, he said he spent half a day with me and said there's about 10 to 11 musicians in your head, because I've never seen that before. Because I was just working with him in the studio, and he's worked on many Bollywood's backgrounds and scores, and I got to meet him in London and pick his brain, and he just said to me, look, stop there, because let me reverse and pick your brain. There's 10 to 11 musicians sitting inside your head, and I've jammed with 2 of them. I don't know what you're doing with the rest of them. How are you doing that? And I said, well, first of all, I'm born in UK, so the western side was there. I don't believe it would happen if I was born in India. I don't think it would have happened. I was born over here, and I just done it from day one. From day one, I was surrounded by different musicians. My dad's friends were all, you know, we listened to everything. So in our house, you'd listen to Ustad Salamat Ali Khan Sahab, classical, Lata Mangeshkar ji, Muhammad Rafi ji, what everybody listens to, Ghulam Ali Sahab, Ghazal, Elvis Presley, Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. But each step of the way, there were absolute legends in their field. We, you know, that's what we listen to. And I try and do that with my kids now as well. I make sure they listen to, like my kids, they study Prince. They're like, oh, he's playing bass, or he's playing drums now. Oh, he's playing this. Is that why you play those things? And I said, yeah, that's why I try and play those things. It's because of this great man over here. Yeah. So sorry, I'm going off on a different subject.
No, but this is what this show's about. You know, it goes off in tangents. It's not super structured, and but that's very interesting, because I remember there was a period of UK sort of young Bhangra singers. You'd ask them, you know, who's your influences, and it's Kuldeep Manik. Kuldeep Manik. And I think, great. Who doesn't love Kuldeep Manik, right? Fantastic. Legends, right? A goat, right? And but then I used to think, who else? You know, it was always Manik or Gurdas Man. It was them. Yeah. And sometimes I think, you know, they're restricted to this style, then this is what they want to do. And then if they want to try something else, like, you know, you sang in Hindi as well, right? And you spoke about reggae. They can't do that, can they? Obviously, they're stuck in that unless they work with a producer. But it's very difficult then, because I think if you look at Nazar Fateh Ali Khan, he could probably sing all sorts, couldn't he? If he really wanted to.
Wow. Well, we heard that before Khan Sahib passed away, that there were talks of him duetting with Luciano Pavarotti, Madonna, many people. So I saw a picture recently of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahib with the Nirvana drummer, Foo Fighters, David Grohl. I saw a picture, and I was like, "Is that a real picture, or is that like somebody made it?" Yeah. Apparently, that was one of the last. He was about to work with him before he passed away in 1997. But he was just a visionary. What I like about him was he still, to that day, must have had people saying, "What are you doing with Qawwali? What are you doing with our music?" But he was right. I've seen so many UK Qawwali singers now. I sang a little bit of Qawwali. I sang it just that I'm not a Qawwali singer. I just paid a little bit of homage to the Sufi lineage where we come from. But there are real great young Qawwali singers coming out from UK. In India and Pakistan, it's a given. You're going to get them. Over here in UK, some really, really cool ones. And they showed me a lot of respect, but I also respect them for what they're doing. They can turn around and try and be an urban artist, or no, I'm going to do this. But they're like, no, I don't want to do that. This is what I want to do. I think it's about being brave. So how brave are you? Really, how brave are you? You've got to believe in yourself. You really, really, really must believe in yourself in anything in life. The psychological part came to me later on, yet I was doing it without knowing that I was doing it. It's when you know that you're doing it, you overcome your obstacles and found training, and you look great in your training, and you can pass that on to your family and your friends. that's credit to you. That's not a small thing. It's a very, very, very big thing. Your life could have gone maybe a different way.
Oh yeah.
Had you not found training and picked yourself up. Now training has turned you into a different beast altogether, man. It's like untouchable. You've connected mentally. We were taught that. Everybody I speak to now, so the young guy I'm mentoring now, that's what I speak to him about. I say, where do you vision yourself? What do you see? Because I know what I see now. I'm actually we're going for the throat now. That's what we're doing. And everybody can do it. That's the thing. Everybody can do it. But you've got to be really, really focused. It's within everybody. But half the industry in the UK, their heads down at the moment. I said, pick your head up. Remember who you are. Be strong. Come and train with me and Zach. Go to the gym. Do some sets, man.
Yeah,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know?
What's wrong with you, man? Yeah, exactly. No, but you're absolutely right, because I remember listening to music back in the day, Bangla music, and I remember when Shin DCS, I know you're good friends with him as well, right? And he sang an English song, and it blew me away, because I thought he can sing in English, and it was just at that time mind blowing for me. And then he was in a play, you know, with Rifco Arts, Britain Scott Bangla, and he did a bit of theatre work, and he
done all of that. He done all of that because we were watching him as we were growing up. It's because he studied. He practiced probably more than anybody. So he done all of that studying. That's my point. He was doing his research non-stop back then, as you know, because it was legendary within the industry that Shin is trained. He's being trained. He's going to different classical teachers, and all of that is why he was able to do all of those things, and why he has a lot of respect for our family, but we have a lot of respect for him. He's definitely one of the artists that I looked up to, because he was different from everybody else. And in my opinion now, with all the old school lot, they're all legends, and I love all of them, but I don't know if any of them can sing.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I'm a big fan, as you know, right, of his as well. And even for him now, I think, you know, when I was talking to him on the show, he was struggling, obviously, because of COVID. And he goes, there's no shows. He goes, I'm getting a bit, you know, pissed off, you know, and he really let rip once we stopped recording. He goes, there's no shows, But, but I said to him, you know, you could easily do a cappella versions. You can sing anything, man. You should put some other stuff out there. And he goes, yeah, you know, not that he's going to take advice from me, but I just, we both know, don't we, the talent he has for his vocals and the training he's got. And that's what you kind of mean for anyone young starting up and learning, that don't restrict yourself to a market, just practice and learn skills and look at other music genres and see what you can do, experiment.
Your advice is actually right. I would say the same thing, because me and Shin might work together, which is a surprise coming up, and I'll do something absolutely I already know what I would do. But okay, so what's going to happen if COVID is another separate thing altogether? What's going to happen if we get locked down again? Stop, start for the next years. What do you do? My advice to everybody is online. You gave Shin, or anybody you give that advice to, is the right thing. Release these acapellas, come online, become a brand online. If you're not online, you're offline. We have a saying, right? You've got to be online. You're doing your podcast now. You're online, you're visible. People are like, yo, this guy's sick. I want to listen to what he's saying. He's talking real. He's coming with the realness. You're online. Shin, it's not a problem. Come online. You can start dropping things every month. We would watch it. We would be like, oh, what's Shin singing now? What is he doing now? Then be creative with how you present it. But you've got to come online. If you're just relying on shows, I definitely don't rely on shows. I've had a lot of shows. Obviously, when I started performing, it was the PA era. So I used to say to people, you're booking me and paying this much money for me to do this. So, okay, but it's our business. So we do it. We have families to look after. We're like, okay, I'm grateful. We'll do that. But don't rely on shows. That's really not the way to go now. We're building our own streaming platforms right now, because we're thinking ahead. It's the way to go.
It is the way to go, and it's the way young people consume content. It's about on-demand music, films, podcasts, even radio. I think 5-10 years down the line will struggle because because you have to be in a certain place at a certain time to listen to a show, like drive time 4 till 6. Young kids don't give a shit. They want to hear it now.
Yeah, they don't. They
They want
don't.
to wait at 4 o'clock.
Podcast is king.
Oh yeah, I think so, because you can this conversation, you know, someone could be listening to this. They could be working out in the gym. They could be washing up. I don't know, cleaning the car. They could pause it. I'll listen to the rest of that later on. You know, that's what people want. They want content which fits around their life. Not, you know, back in the days, me and you were probably, remember on Saturdays, you would probably sit with your family, watch Blind Date or something, or Surprise. You know, you sit as family. But that don't happen now, does it? My kids watch their own stuff. It's a different world, the way we consume music and content. I mean, look at Spotify and you know, Apple Music. It's changed the game, and I think artists they have to change. You know, they have to change. You have to definitely be a brand, without doubt.
Yeah, you have to be a brand. I don't know about you, but when I train, some people say, like, what do you listen to? Do you ever listen to yourself? No, I don't. The only time I listen to my music is when I'm creating it. When it's out, I never listen to it, so I have to go and perform it. When I'm training, I listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, listen to podcasts. I don't really listen to music.
No, same here. I don't. Someone asked me that. They go, "Do you have like a playlist for your training?" I go, because I put like Rocky music up on my Instagram, which is I just like that album soundtrack. But it's podcasts. Brilliant. Because what I'm doing is, as I'm this is the way I see it. As I'm training, I'm also learning whatever I'm listening to, and so even when I'm resting between sets, you know, I try to pick up something, learn something about people.
Who do you like listening to? Do you like Joe Rogan? I like Joe.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's perfect because it's about 2 hours long, isn't it? His podcast, which is a good training session, about an hour and a half. Joe Rogan. I listen to Mark Maron. I don't know if you ever. It's called WTF. It's worth. He interviews actors and artists and comedians. He's very good as well. Some news podcasts as well. See what's happening in the world. BBC World News I listen to, and but yeah, I'm like you, podcasts and training. I love that period, man. Headphones on, it's just me. And
I love history. I love history. So there's a channel called Biographics. So it's a wicked channel. It's like they'll do about 25-30 minutes on, could be anything, could be Genghis Khan, could be King Henry the Eighth, or anything like that. So I'm always like just listening to different stuff. And in my time off, what I'm going to be doing now, because people have started asking me, like, why are you always tweeting about castles or different things? I say, because I fucking love that. That's why.
Yes.
I go and visit a castle. I want to do something. I don't want to go to a club. I don't want to, do these things. I want to go see some history. So we've made it a point, me and my wife, we're going to try and visit all the castles in Europe. But I want to go to Transylvania. I want to go to some amazing ones in Germany. I want to do all of UK, the British heritage. There's a lot of history there. So on my day off, everybody knows, okay, that's what he's going to do. But right now, I don't have a day off.
Yeah. When if we don't see you online for a while, we know he's gone up a castle. He's at a castle. Hunterz is.
You're going to see a video of it.
Yeah, he's at a castle. He's in a turrets, bow and arrow. I'll tell you one. If you like history, Dan Carlin.
Okay.
Search Dan Carlin on Apple Podcasts or whatever you have, Spotify. Absolutely amazing. He talks about Genghis Khan. He also talks about World War I, and it's fantastic. He's an independent podcaster on history who always says, I'm not a historian. So when he explains when he explains history, it's fantastic, and he does it in a kind of almost pop culture way. He compares it to, say, when Apple versus Microsoft. He goes, these two tribes were that big, and this is the kind of it's fantastic. You would love that. It's fantastic, and it will keep you going for training because it's hours long, 3-4 hours a episode. It's 6 parts.
Mate, I love it. If I'm not, it's probably the only thing that will calm my mind down. Because when I say calm, I mean I've got music compositions 24/7. I've been, if I'm not in a Zoom call, a Zoom meeting, or a Zoom interview, or anything else, I'm constantly making music, always making music, and I'm making music in different genres. I've had artists sit with me, and they're like, after a little while, they either have to go and, put the head down or something, because I've switched from scoring music for something to vocals landed from Jamaica to something from over there. And I'll do it like I wouldn't even think about it. Like if you sat with me, it'll just be normal while we're having a cup of tea. I've got to do this. You're going to be like, oh, what's this? You've just done like 7 different genres over here. But I'm so used to it because I've been doing it for so many years. And history is the only thing that gets me, like, or training, watch a bit of Arnie, and listen to him talk, and that, what are you training? That kind of vibe.
Yeah. He's actually talking to Arnie, he's quite an amazing guy, right? Because people see him as a meathead, don't they? But he's far from a meathead. He was a millionaire before he was an actor, right? So he was very entrepreneurial when it wasn't even a thing. And he had a long-term vision, which I like about him, from when he was back in Germany, right, in Austria. He knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to be like Reg Park, I think was his hero. And so he wanted to be an actor. And that's what he knew. He had to go to America and Hollywood, and that's where he was going to do it. And he's
when he wanted to be an actor, what did they say? Oh, your name's too long. You can't speak English. And so he went on to become the most highest paid actor in Hollywood at the time.
Yeah. And
I love stories.
Yeah, same here. And they did say that to him. They said, we can't understand what he's saying. His first film they dubbed. Remember Hercules in New York or whatever it's called? They dubbed it. But I remember in his biography, he went to vocal lessons to learn English, and he took acting classes. He took that acting like he did his training. So he did it the same way. So he would train in the morning, and then he would do acting lessons the same way. He goes, I would listen to the teacher. I'd practice. And he goes, a lot of the other guys bodybuilding would have a nap in the afternoon because after training. But he goes, that was a waste of time because we all have the same 24 hours in the day. So he goes, I would be doing this. I'll be talking to the writers, producers, and he would try and make friends with, the Hollywood elite.
I love, if you look at Arnie, and I know you do definitely, he was also about the mindset. Everything's the mindset, isn't it? The body will go where the mind will tell it to go.
Yeah.
And he was all about that. It shows how, some of the guys who had amazing physiques might have even been a bit more blessed than him, but his mindset was something different. He already knew that he was going to win. He just knew that there was no other way. Or if I don't win this time, I will win next time. It's just these kind of law of attraction, whatever you want to call it, it is important. It is a mindset. You've got to have that. I found that late. I found that I was doing that late. I was doing it back then, but I didn't know I was doing it until people who know about that stuff said, you know how you reach this point? This is how you reach this point, yet you didn't know, because we don't come from an era when someone said, right, if you focus on this, if you do this, I knew it musically, if you focus on this technique for 6 months, you will get this. If you do this one for 6 months, people don't practice now for 6 weeks. We used to do it 6 months at a time, and still do it to this day.
6 days, 6 days, Hunter. Some people don't practice 6 days. A week even. But no, it is all about mindset, and I think you have to be resilient, mentally resilient to a lot of things. When you put yourself out there online, which is obviously the way forward now, you're going to get feedback from people, even if you want it or not, good and bad. And you've got to be mentally resilient. When I had this show on, people tell me, oh, you should have asked this question, or you should have said that and it can affect you, but it doesn't to me, because I think, well, you can make your own show then, can't you?
Mate, bro, it's your show. You ask what you want to ask, and what I want to do now is I want to champion good people. I want to champion you. I want to champion everybody. I want to champion people you brought on the show. We live in a real bit of a fucked up time where everything put people down. Everything is doom and gloom. Watch the news, and sometimes I watch it to keep up to date, and I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. That's great, brilliant. I'm still going to go for a walk in the park. It's beautiful. Or I'm going to go train. I'm going to do things. There's amazing things out there. The world is still cool, man. We're going to be all right. People survived years ago with fuck all, and they get all through to now. Then we're going to be okay. Just be wise, be smart, follow what they're telling you to do. We will get out of it. But one of my friends, he had a bit of he had some mental stress due to COVID, and this guy's kind of like one of the real woke ones, if you want to say, but it got him. And I said, no, don't let nothing like that get you. We can't control those things, can we?
No.
If you can't control those things, fuck that, move that out of the way. What you can control is that you and your children can go out wherever you do different things. You can watch whatever you want to, go train. We can control that. I've been training at home. During COVID, we just trained at home. And so I heard a lot of people complaining, I need to go to a gym, I need to go to a gym. I don't know about you, my mindset was never that. Listen, I've got dumbbells here, I've got a treadmill, I've got what I need over here, I'm good, I'm fine. When gym's open, we'll go to a gym.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. And one of the lessons that I try and teach my kids, and even my wife sometimes, hopefully she's not listening, is you can't control external factors in life. All you can control really is your reaction to them.
That's right.
So I try and tell my kids that, when they're upset about something, and for them it's small minor things at school, they're only little, right? But I said, look, you can't control that person, or if that person's been a bit mean to you, only thing you can control is how you're going to react. I'm going to stop talking to them, play with some other people. If you don't like that, talk to someone about it, but don't bottle it in and worry and think it's your fault, because you can only do what you can do, right? And I've only learned that late in life, a bit like you. I was never like that. I used to blame everyone else for my own issues and problems. Oh, look at him, he's doing really well, I could do that, but he's got lucky because he knew that person, they let him in, and it's always about they were lucky, or they've got money, that's why they're doing that. I never thought, what, maybe they have worked their ass off. I don't know what they've done, they might be doing all sorts, but I can only control what I can do myself. So that's my mantra for life. You can't control external factors at all, only your reaction, and that's what I stick to now.
You're 100% right. Like you said, people are going to have an opinion about podcasts, about music I make or anything. That's fine. Let them have that. People say, how do you, because when we were releasing music before, if somebody didn't like it, we wouldn't know about it because it was online. But now I don't give a fuck. You've got to have that mentality that that's their opinion. That's fine. It depends. But what we've done is we look at people like your Arnies and that, who are absolutely solid, strong. They don't care. If somebody told him back when he was in Austria, because I believe he came from humble beginnings, he didn't come from no big rich family, did he?
No.
He was in Austria, and it was either like, listen, how the fuck am I going to get out of this war-torn place or whatever it was? And then, done what he had to do. You do what you have to do. I have 3 words: find a way. Simple as that. Find a way. Live by those 3 rules. Do not complain. Find a way. I was somebody once said to me, H, you're the most talented and you're getting left behind. And I went, no, I'm not getting left behind. I said, that's fine. I said, that's your opinion, and you're saying that because you have love and respect for me, but I'll be okay. And then years later, the same people are now saying to me, fuck, man, how did you do that? And I said, well, something inside me just said, fucking just be skilled, be ready. And then I don't know what it was, a voice inside to me said, it doesn't matter, just carry on, keep going. Maybe if I'd known what I've known now, what would it have done? Speeded it up or anything? I doubt it. Whatever happened was happened because it was meant to happen. There was mistakes I made along the way. I made those mistakes. There's no pointing fingers to anybody else. I made those mistakes. If somebody done something that they shouldn't have done towards me in the music business, because I've had things like that happen, okay, they done that, but I didn't know. I didn't know what that situation was, so I don't even look at them. I say, that's fine. You had the one up on me. In hindsight, you knew about publishing before I did, so whatever, that's fine. No worries. What I do find nowadays is the same people are trying to work with me now. So they're trying to knock on the door. Can you help me? Can you do this? But karma is a real thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing, and you're absolutely right. It's that resilience of mind to carry on, and your time now, it seems super exciting. I remember when you mentioned a few names right at the beginning. of this interview and some American stars. You know what? I was getting excited. I was thinking, for me, if I saw you, Hunters, with these guys in a song or a single, I'd be so proud because I think that's fucking Hunters, man. He's on,
Yeah.
he's on MTV or whatever it is, right? He's on the video with these guys, all right? I'll be super happy, right? Because hey, I'm not in the music industry anyway, and but you're just like one of our guys, right? He's doing it, man. I'm thinking, look at him, he's fantastic. I was super excited. So you must be like bubbling to go, man.
My mindset is like, first of all, thank you for that. Guess where my mindset is? My mindset is, okay, I've done this now. Who can I bring up? That's what my mindset is. My mindset is 100% on from our industry. Who can we bring up? Who are we going to give a helping hand to? Because somebody gave me a helping hand, and in turn, I will give somebody a helping hand. That's where I'm at right now, because we really, 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 really do need that. Our industry is so divided, where if you look at the right now, the urban scene, the young artists, the black and white artists who are on the rap scene, they're killing it. The streams are like absolutely amazing. A lot of them are not even signed. Some of them have just bought houses and put them on rent. And I love that, because we know where they come from. It's not that music. They found a way, they worked together, they collaborated. So what I want to do is I want to open some doors and then bring the next ones through. 100% there are people there ready. We've already got our eye on them, and we're speaking to some of them, and we're telling them that we think you need this, and they've got it. The ones who've got it, they say, thank you. You know, it's like really, really a lifesaver. So don't thank me, because I needed that also. We have an infrastructure. Let's go. So I want to help people, sir. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I'm really excited for what's going to come out from you and London Inc. and exciting times, right? Because like you said, we're going to come out of COVID. Things will improve. It will. Humans have experienced way worse than this, and you know, we know a lot more. Communication can be spread quickly. You know, the right things to do and the wrong things to do. So if we'll get out of this, there's going to be a time where events will happen, shows will happen, music will change again. But I think that global sound or global marketing is not going to change. If anything, it's accelerate.
Bigger.
It's going to get bigger and bigger, right? And that's going to be the only way. So when you become a singer, you should never be looking at the UK as your market or India even.
Look, work with somebody who sings in French. Work with somebody who's work with the Spanish singer. You know, work with an Algerian singer like we've just done. So on Tera Dil Mujhe De De, which is the single that's out right now, Amina is actually from my original hometown of Bedford, which is just an amazing story that we were gonna feature somebody else, a prominent female artist, and we changed our mind. We were like, no, let's pick somebody up that nobody knows. And we brought all these cultures together. So she's opened up the whole Arabic market for us. So and we were like, why don't you do that? If you sing Punjabi, if you sing whatever you sing, just experiment, work with some people.
Yeah. And exactly. I mean, if you look at the markets, look at the Arabic market's massive. And you know, we just stick to Bollywood and Bhangra, but it's you know, it's a big world out there, right? And a lot of people like music, right? So I think it's super exciting, you know, Hunters. Look, we're coming towards the end. Like, I think we definitely have to do more shows with you on, and we can maybe pick on a certain area and then work from there, because you've done so much and you're going to do a lot more, I think, and I'm super excited for you. But before you go, you know, is there any message you have for people watching and listening?
Yeah, most definitely. Believe in yourself, and everything starts with the mind. The moment you tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do, it's going to happen. Visualize it, that you've already got that. 100% I am where I am today, working with the people that I am working with, is because I believed in myself. And I was like, no, I want to go to a next level. It's not just about music, in life. If you've got a goal, simple goal, I want to stop this, you will stop it. I want to achieve this. I want to look like this or whatever. I want to get better at this. It all starts there. Say, I want to, and I will. So mainly just focus on your mind. I'm seeing too much of it. I'm seeing too many people not do that. So I'm seeing too many people stressed when you don't need to be stressed. You're okay. You're going to get food on your table. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then just focus. That's what it is. Focus. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and find a way.
Absolutely, that's fantastic advice. And people can follow you obviously on social media. We talked about social media a lot today. And where are some of the places where they can catch you?
It's real simple. At Hunterz Music, wherever you want to find me, at Hunterz Music. And I'm either going to be in the studio or at Warwick Castle or somewhere like that, shouting, "Sat, check this out."
Yeah, you're going to be at the castle somewhere. I mean, actually, I've been looking when I was setting this interview up. I was thinking, what number am I on? The last episode was 49, so you'll be the 50th episode.
Cool, awesome,
yeah,
brilliant.
And just for my OCD, it's nice. The 50, I've got you on, and a positive message for people out there. And so
I've been looking forward to you because every now and then I'll catch little bits of your podcast and I put them in my thing. Oh, I need to watch that. Oh, I need to watch that. I love the Shin one. That was amazing. Brilliant podcast. And just the way you do it, it's really natural. I've done a few podcasts. People are cool. There's seems a bit more corporate, kind of a thing. Yours is like you're talking to a mate, which is really more important, which is why I can waffle on sometimes a bit too much. So I apologize for that. But that's because I'm comfortable. It's real cool. It's not like, I practiced this and then I went to this chord and then I practiced that and then I went to that chord and then I changed my mode over here or whatever. It's not that. So it's wicked. And also training as well. Anybody who's training, I know what that's done for you because I know what it's done for me. And I advise anybody, follow that, check the podcast out and put some training tips out there for people as well, man. We all need that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate all that, and I was going to say, I will put some training tips out there as well. But yeah, we'll have to meet up one day once COVID's done. I will have to come up. We'll do one in person interview. We'll do a bit of training. We'll do it in the gym. We'll do it in the gym. And
what we'll do is when we get ours set up in Westminster, so the offices and there's a massive refurb going on. I believe it's nearly done. Really exciting. I'm going to invite you down. So please come down and see me there. I can introduce you to some of the guys and talk about, let's get a show and probably do one of your episodes from our studio or something like that.
And we'll record one,
on studio and get a few other people on as well, which would be really cool. Definitely want to do a follow-up. So thank you.
Yeah, 100% we'll do a follow-up. We won't make it the 100th show or something. We'll do it quicker than that.
And train today? I haven't trained yet. Did you train today?
You know what? It's so funny you said that because I would have got trained today and I thought, I don't want to do a good back session and I'm going to be knackered. I'm going to be tired when I'm talking to them afterwards. So I need to be a bit fresh. So I thought I'll talk to you first. I'll have some lunch and then I'll do it. And because
I'm going to do the same. I've got a studio session at some point today. So after you, I'm actually fasting. So I'm doing intermittent fasting at the moment. So I'll eat at about 1 o'clock and then I'll have a little bite at 1 o'clock, get a session in and then studio after that. In the morning, so I've done my vocal practice, then my podcast review. It's a bit like regimented, but I like it like that. If it's not like that, then fuck knows what's going to happen.
No, I think you're right, though. It should be planned, right? So with your fasting, though, see, you've caught me now. You want to talk about fasting. So when you fast, are you having your last meal like the day before, 8 o'clock? Or
yeah, so 16-hour fast. So at 9 o'clock, I actually got that from my brother V and Jay Sean. So Jay, he fasts. I look really lean when he went to see my brother. Some of my mates who, are all proper heavy lifters and compete, they would do bits and that, but then they never talk much about that. They were more about basically get in, train, and fucking eat clean. They've that animal mentality. Just eat clean, drink your water, get your training done, no excuses. Obviously, when you get a little bit more into it, you've always got, because the fucking body adapts, doesn't it, sir?
Yeah. Definitely.
The body will adapt and say, I've got you, you bastard. You do something. So I don't want to lose weight. I want to lose body fat. That's what I want to do. So it really does help me, though. It really helps me. And then
Yeah.
obviously I've upped my water intake of the last 3-4 weeks was horrible, man. It's awful. I had to just take.
Water and sleep are super important. People forget about sleep. It's so important. But that obviously you want to lose body fat, but you want to keep your lean muscle, right? You want to that's the goal. But I think you're doing it right. I intermittent fast as well, same as you. Last meal will be about 8, maybe 7, and then I'll have lunch about 12, 1. I might do some fasted cardio, but I don't like cardio, man.
I love fasted cardio.
You do? Yeah.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
My leanest I ever got, I've done quite a bit of fasted cardio, and you know, some people like it, some people don't. You do what works for you, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You do what works for you. So for me, it's amazing. It's always worked. So I'll do some today. I won't have time because I know straight after this I've got a couple of things to do. I'll eat at 1. I don't know if I can fit in time. I might just bang out a bit of fasted cardio, but my normal routine would be before I eat, I will do my session then, and so I've trained fasted as well, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, and we'll definitely hook up and have a session together, and we'll share it with the gram and online, and that's for the future. But look, Hunterz, man, it's been fantastic. The sun's come out as well since we started talking, and it's been a nice day. But it's lovely speaking to you, mate. And I think we've got a very much similar mindset in different areas of life, obviously. But with you, music, and we're very regimented and structured in what we do, and we have goals, and we don't really give a shit what anyone else thinks.
Nah. I think everything is simple, really. Simple. Bring everything down to simpleness. Have your goals, have your plans, write it out for the day, what needs to be done, and get it done, and find a way. Simple as that. No excuses. I
love that. Find a way. So when my kids come and ask me something, I'll say, well, find a way yourself. But look, Hunterz, man, look, it's been a real pleasure. And
thank you.
Part 1, guys. This is part 1 of
we're coming again.
6-part epic with Hunterz. Cheers, my man. Thank you.
All the best.